In the last session, we did a lot of assessment center tools and techniques. And one of them was also psychometric testing. Okay. Today, we will talk a little about one of the very, very important psychometric tool, which is called FIRO-B. It's called FIRO-B. Okay. I don't know how many, if Paul is familiar or Nishant is familiar. Well, this has been there, since the 1950s. It's a very, very highly predictable, reliable, and validated tool. Now, let me tell you what does it tell you about. Okay, FIRO-B. Typically, it's called FIRO-B, and the full name of this instrument or the psychometric test is called Fundamental Interpersonal Relationships Orientation Behavior. It's called FIRO-B. Okay. And this tool was developed by a very popular psychologist called Will Schutz in 1950. And what does it measure, or what does it typically, what do you understand when you actually take this instrument? It helps you to understand interpersonal behaviors, yourself in relations with teams, groups, etc. So therefore, it's a very, very powerful tool. Nishant, have you heard of this name, or have you done this test, or etc.?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Now, this FIRO-B, before I show you a few things, let me show you how an instrument looks. How does this tool look? Can you see mine? Huh? Okay. This is the questionnaire. Now, Vilma has sent you this questionnaire. Got it? Now, this questionnaire has 3 parts. See, if you can see, there are questions from 1 to 16 is one part, 17 to 40 is another part, and 41 to 54 is another part. Just to show you how does this instrument look. But let me now first take you back and give you a little understanding of the FIRO-B, and then take you back to that instrument. Okay. So when we talk about this instrument, every tool measures something. Why do you use a psychometric test? It measures certain things. Like, for example, I don't know how many of you have heard of MBTI. It's another instrument. It measures something. Myers-Briggs type indicator, extrovertism. So it gives you a score. Likewise, even FIRO-B measures something. Now, it measures on 3 aspects, 3 dimensions. What are they? Can you see here? Inclusion, control, affection. Inclusion, control, affection. Now, these 3 dimensions are again what? They have 2 aspects. What are they? How much do you express? It's called IE, expressed behavior, and wanted behavior. What is it? Expressed behavior and wanted behavior. So that means they have how many? 6 dimensions. Each one has 2. Inclusion, IE, IW. CE, CW. AE, AW. So for all these 3, you have 2 aspects. So there are 6 dimensions. That means your measure or the score will have 6 measures. Okay. So when we talk about inclusion, now when you say what is IE? Expressed behavior. You have to understand what is this expressed behavior. That means when under the inclusion, how much you want to be a part of others. Like, for example, how much you include others. Like, say Paul is doing there is some activity going on in the organization, engagement activity. Okay. And you are the one who's driving it. All right. So how much you want others to include you. So you are a part of it. You are expressing it. Okay. That's called IE. Now, when I say wanted, that means how much you want to belong to others. How much do you want to be a part of the socialization or be a part of some activities happening? That means inclusion. Okay. One is you are actually initiating something, but the other is you want to be a part of it. Now, the entire interesting thing about this psychometric test is that when your score, I'll come to that a little later. Control, CE. What does it mean? How much you try to control others? Like, say, for example, if Nishant is the head HR, you know, if his control is very high, that means, he wants to always control others. He wants to always guide others. He wants to manage others. Say his score is, CE is like 8, 9, very high. So now, what is wanted? How much you want others to direct you in control? Say, for example, you have a boss who has a high expressed behavior of control. And Paul is one. He actually has a low want of control. Low want of control is what? I don't want people to direct me. I will manage things on my own. Just tell me some things. You think they will click? Well, this guy is the one who's wanting to manage all the time, high control. And the other one is low unwanted. I don't want so much control. You just tell me things. So that's how it helps you to understand better. Okay? Affection. What does it mean? How much do you show? How much do you want? Let me give you an example in this. Say, for example, if your scores are very high on inclusion expression and inclusion wanted, that means you are a person who enjoys socializing, who enjoys involving others, and who also likes to include others in the group activities. Now, if your scores are low on wanted control, what does it mean? It means you don't want to be told what to do. You prefer autonomy, independence. So what I mean is when you do this FIRO-B instrument, you will exactly know how much do I express and how much am I getting. So if there is a huge difference in this, then you will know you are not able to actually perform well. You will then work on yourself. Okay. That's that's the takeaway when you do this FIRO-B. I'll give you some examples for you to understand a little better. Okay. As I said, FIRO-B has 3 aspects: inclusion, control, and affection. Now, every aspect of it has 2 things. One is expressed and the other is I want. Let us look at expressed inclusion. Raj always invites co-workers to lunch and starts team games. He wants to include others in activity. So what does it mean? That means he's expressing inclusion. It could be high, right? Now, Priya feels happy when she's invited to meetings and group chats, but really, rarely initiates them. That means what? The need for, she doesn't, she will go and join some meetings. It's okay. But her need for inclusion is low. Okay. Control. Anil takes charge in group projects and assigns tasks. He likes to take responsibility and lead. When some amount of control is there, he likes to do that. On the other side, just look at it. Meera prefers when someone gives clear instructions and takes decisions for the team. Okay. What? She only wants instructions. Her need for what? Her want for control is very less. She wants others to lead and guide her. Here, again, she's showing high amount of want. That means, hey, I want somebody to guide me. I want somebody to manage me. So when you do this instrument, you would know exactly whether what is your expressed and what is your want. Affection. So similarly, affection expressed. Are you a person who really is warm, open? How high is it? And want how much of affection you want. So what does it essentially say, FIRO-B? That there are three dimensions: inclusion, control, affection. And these come with two aspects: what is expressed and behavior. Okay. Having said that, now you would have actually got your questionnaire. All of you will need to do that questionnaire, and you would know exactly where are you. Because I want you to, if I tell you in detail everything, high, low, etc., you might be a little biased when you are actually doing this instrument. But I will help you. I will give you certain instructions. Go back and you can actually fill this questionnaire and send it to Vilma. All right. And you would get a score and you will get a detailed report as to where you are in these aspects of inclusion, control, and affection on two aspects, that is expressed and want. Now, this questionnaire has 54 questions. Got it? You should not be taking a lot of time in answering it. It is not a thinking questionnaire. It is a questionnaire where you need to tick what is that you typically do. What is that more in general? What do you do? Okay. Now you need to be honest when you are actually filling in this or doing this questionnaire. Now we'll just take a look at the first batch of questions, 1 to 16. What is their rating scale? 1 to 6. Can you see that? 1 to 6. Now, what do you need to do? Now, 1 is usually, 2 is often, 3 is sometimes, 4 is occasionally, rarely, and never. Now, all that you need to do is when you're filling up this, I try to be with people. Say, for example, Nirmala, I'm talking for myself. Okay. If I were to fill this, what will I do? Am I usually with people? Am I often? Sometimes, occasionally, rarely, never? Then I'll say, hey, I'm often, because I'm a person who's, an extrovert, like to be with people. So my response will be two. Say, for example, somebody else, Paul, I don't know him. So he will say, sometimes I'm with people. Okay. So he will fill in sometimes. So what I fill in and what you fill in are absolutely personal depending on the time you spend. We'll take another question. I let others people decide what to do. Now you may say, maybe very rare, once in a. So what do you need to do? Generally, what do you do? When you are responding, generally, what do you do? I let other people decide what to do. Generally, does Paul let other people decide what he has to do? Once in a way, one thing, that's okay, but in general. So if he's saying usually, then or sometimes or occasionally or rarely or never. So it depends how you do that. Got it? Are you there with me now? Is it very clear? Okay. Now let me go to the second block. Now questions can repeat. Now, how can an instrument be reliable, predictable, and validated? Because there will be, questions overlapping, etc. You can't say, hey, I filled up, this one there, but then again it's appearing. And that's how, whether you are consistent in your responses or you are generally ticking it. So your correct score will come out when you are honest as well. And then there is also checking, validating in this. So there are questions which can overlap the same thing in different language as well. Let us take the second one, 17 to 40. Now the rating is 1 to 6. So most people, and 6 will be nobody. I try to be friendly with people. Most people, many people, some people, few people, one or two, nobody. Then you have to think, in general, what kind of a person am I? Am I friendly with most people? In general, am I a person who is friendly with many people? Or only with few people whom I know? Only my close people? Or just one or two people? Got it? That's how you need to think about yourself in general, what you do, and respond to the statement. Okay. I'll take one more. 21. I try to have close relationship with people. Huh? Most people, many people, some people, one or two. Like, for example, if I were to respond here, I try to have close relationship with people. I will say maybe one or two people because that's the way I am. Huh? Okay. So you have to look at yourself. What is that you do generally and take it. Now let's go to the other one. This is the last section, 41 to 54. Okay. Now, so the scale is 1 to 6. Again, usually, often, sometimes, occasionally. I try to be dominant person when I'm with people. Usually, often, sometimes. So what is your general behavior? If you see some people are always very dominant, no? Some people are choosing when to be dominant, right? Some people are never dominant. Some people are very rarely dominant. So you have to speak not for some people, for your own self. Huh? Okay? And fill that. All right? So when you do that, then you will get your scoring and then you will also get your detailed report as to where you are in those inclusion, control, affection, with respect to expressed, how much do you show and how much do you want? So what are the gaps and what are the things you should be doing then? Okay. I will, in fact, recap it so that even the others can understand.
Fantastic, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, this FIRO-B is a psychometric analysis test. Okay, it analyzes your certain behaviors. Now, this tool was developed by a very popular psychologist called Will Schutz in 1950. And typically, what does it do? It measures how people behave with others. That's why it's very important. Because in organizations, you need to collaborate, you need to communicate, you need to have team working. So this tool is very important because it will measure how does a person interact with others. Okay. Now you need to have a measure. Now this one will give you a measure in not only in qualitative but quantitative terms, a number. Now with that you will know where are you high and where are you low. Okay, it's a very beautiful instrument and I'm very fond of it. Now, this questionnaire has 54 questions in 3 parts. Okay, now what does it assess? It assesses people with respect to 3 needs, interpersonal needs. What are they? I, inclusion. C, control. A, affection. As the word suggests, inclusion, including means, say, for example, I want to be a part of a socializing team. I want to be a part of something, engagement activity, inclusion, or I invite others. So there are 2 aspects for every need. One is the expressed, as you know, expressed, simple, no? And one is the want. Okay, I express. Kaushal will express a lot of what. Now he will take the initiative of inviting people. He has socialization. He has engagement activities. But when it comes to want, he doesn't want much. Mohammed, he is very keeps to himself. So you can actually find out how much is your expressed behavior and how much is your want, and then make, if I want to be very effective in my role, in my position, even as a person, then I can actually then take steps to improve. For example, control. One is expressed and other is, again, I told you want. Say, for example, Kaushal as an head HR, okay, he wants to control others. And how do you control others? He wants to actually micromanage and say, you must do this from point A to point B, only like this. Everything control. You have to report back to me, tell me everything. What does it mean? That the C E is very high. Affection. How much do you show again? Expressed and how much? I want. So these are the things which will come out when you do this questionnaire. Just to give you a little, you know, um, there are certain examples I was speaking about. Say, for example, I'll just take control. Anil takes charge of group projects and assigns tasks. He likes to take responsibility and lead. That means, his expression of control is there. I want. Meera prefers when someone gives clear instructions and takes decision for the team. She wants others to lead and guide her. Is her wanted control high or low here? Anybody? I just explained. So, Meera prefers when someone gives clear instructions and takes decisions for the team. She wants others to lead and guide her. I told you somebody whose need, the want is less in terms of control. What is that person? He's more self-managed. But if somebody's want for control is high, what does it mean? Please handhold me. Please do this for me. Please give me everything. Detail it for me. So can I do this? So he's all the time taking what? Detailed instructions. Got it? The difference between high, wanted control, high and low. Affection. Expressed affection. Shalini is warm and open. She checks on colleagues' well-being and remembers birthdays. She shows closeness and personal warmth. That means she's a person who's always expressing the affection. Now, when I talk about wanted in the affection, Samir doesn't express much warmth, but he feels valued. Someone takes time to ask. That means he is not a person who expresses it, but his need is there, want is there. How he is doing or remember small details about him. He wants others to show him personal attention, even if he doesn't express it himself. His wanted affection is high, but his expression, he doesn't want to express. That is low. So when you get these scores, you will clearly understand, hey, am I able to effectively do my job? And in order to effectively do my job, then what are these gaps in terms of inclusion, control, affection, in terms of E and I, which will really help you guys. Okay. So I would say take seriously, don't put your thinking hat. Fill in. I just showed the question now. Fill in what you do generally, consistently. And I showed the entire, it's very, very clear. Maybe I'll just do one block, only one questionnaire. Yeah. So a questionnaire FIRO-B looks like this. It has 54 questions. Simple. You should not be taking more than 15 to 20 minutes to do this test. Okay. And don't think more. Just answer the first thing which comes to your mind, answer. So for example, I did as a rating scale of 6, 1 to 6. Okay. Sometimes it could be usually is here the lowest, highest, and never is the lowest. Say, for example, I try to be with people. For myself, Nirmala, usually, generally you have to take, not, occasionally, sometimes. In general, what do you do? Usually, often, sometimes, occasionally, rarely, never. I would say often, because I try to be with people often. So I will give what will I do here? Response 2. I'll take one more. I join social groups. So you have to think, usually, often, sometimes, maybe occasionally. So you have to think about it. So what I will do, I'll say occasionally, because I'm not the one who all the time I'm in social groups, whether it is online social groups or offline social groups. Occasionally, yes. So what response will I give? Kaushal?
Sorry.
What is the rating I'll give? Occasionally. I'll give 4. Okay? I'll give 4.
Yeah.
Now you know how to respond. I'll just give one more. The last one I'll do. I'll take the question 54. These are not changeable. This is a standardized, off-the-shelf, validated, predictability and reliability tool. Okay. Schultz did a lot of research and he came out with this. It stands the test of all times, let me tell you also. Okay. Unless, of course, people, you have to be honest. If you are not honest, then you won't get your correct score. Now, 54. I take charge of things when I am with people. I might
Me
give you a
sometimes.
funny example.
If you ask me, I'll
you
give
are
three.
you are in a boss position. One second. I take charge of things when I'm with people. 1 second. You are the HR head, say, okay. But when you start thinking generally, what do I do? Do I do usually, often, sometimes, occasionally, or rarely? So my role is HR head. But typically, I'm not saying you do that, but you say occasionally I take charge. That means what is it? That means you don't take control of things, right? Typically. So that's how you should not say, what do I do? And fill it as, usually. But you should fill it as what you typically do. It doesn't matter. It will reflect your score. It's like showing a mirror, right? You want to improve. So this is not a test which is being typically used for evaluation. It is only, for developmental. So psychometric tests are not used for as an assessment tool to either what say that you want to take a decision on a person whether you want to hire this person or not. You don't take that decision based on the psychometric tool. You use the scores to support the data. Got it? You use the scores saying if the scores are coming like this, there is some kind of a gap and anomaly, then you will start focusing more and in depth in certain particular, behavior of that person. So they are there for supporting and also for validating data. Got it?